Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video I'm going to be giving you some Recollection Lite upgrades for the Tristan deck, kind of show you where to start first, what's like the most expensive, the least expensive, so you can best utilize your money and make the deck as competitively tuned as you possibly can be. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, thank you so much for stopping by, hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. For my new people coming from the Grand Archive scene, please feel free to give any feedback down below in the comments. I tried to make the list kind of smaller. I'm not going to go over every single card that you should do to where it's like a fully tuned upgrade, just like where you should start first. So hopefully this is very beneficial. Feel free to check out the Discord down below, as well as the channel membership and the creator worksheet, and we'll get right into it. So the first thing I want to do is bring up the actual Recollection Lite Tristan deck list. I'll link this down below. So when you buy the Recollection Lite deck, which is a really good value for the Tristan champion to be able to get started, it has a lot of good pieces already in the list. Obviously, it has the entire champion lineage. It also has key cards that are really good, like Poison Dagger is very nice. But the first place I think you kind of want to start is the material deck area, and we'll go over that here in a second, because really in a fully tuned list, the only thing that you're going to keep in this section is the Tristan lineage. You're going to swap out a lot of this stuff, and at first glance that sounds like a bad thing, but every single piece of material deck, it works very similar to Flesh and Blood, where like that's kind of like your generic staples of the game. Like that's the stuff that kind of goes plug and play into a lot of different decks, so the money is very well spent and very useful, right? But that'll be the first thing we'll talk about. When it comes to the main deck, you have a lot more pieces that are very standardized in the Tristan list. You obviously have 3 Shadow Strikes, which is very good. Not having that 4th isn't as crazy, because most decks have 3 Shadow Strike in them. They don't want to see 4 of them, so that's completely fine. It also has some really good key cards like Stifling Trap, very, very good to have. It has 3 Slice and Dice, which is what's ran in the fully tuned version of the list. It also has 3 Incapacitates, which is very nice, and 1 Mastermind Scheme. Those are the cards that are going to kind of stay in the list as a whole. And even some people in a very allies-centric list have ran Sable Remnant, even in a fully tuned list, so that's really good as well. But this is the fully tuned deck list, even though, or not fully tuned, the Recollection Lite deck list, even though there is, a lot of different upgrades you have to make. If you want to like have the most fully tuned list, the one thing I love about these Recollection Lites is they still play very good at the local level. And what I like about them is they keep the theme of the hero. Like if you want to play the champion and feel what it feels like to play Tristan, I just play like a hodgepodge of a bunch of different cards. It's a very easy deck to pick up and like enjoy. I played it for a while before I started doing my upgrades. But first we're going to go over is the Regalia, so the stuff in your material deck. I'm going to go from most expensive to least expensive. The first thing you should buy for your material deck in Tristan is Shadow's Claw. Shadow's Claw is going to run you about $50. It is the most expensive card by far, and everyone has different variations of budget. So this is not me saying like you can't play Tristan if you don't have this card. This card just enables a lot more in the deck. It allows you to, it heightens the power of the deck tremendously. It's normally going to replace probably a Mercenary Blade. I would probably keep, or Curved Dagger. I would keep Poison Dagger in the list for now. But Shadow's Claw, when you get to level 3, as long as you have 4 more preparation counters from your champion, you can activate it from your material deck, not in your materialized phase. And Fantasia allies you control can attack using Shadow's Claw. When they do, put a durability counter on it. So what this allows you to do is you swing with Tristan with like a Slice and Dice, right? Using Shadow's Claw, taking a durability counter off, and you swing for 4 and then 6. And then those 2 Ominous Shadow tokens that you created can swing with this as well, and they will swing for 1 by themselves and 1 with Shadow's Claw. So it makes your Ominous Shadows, instead of swinging for 1, swing for 2. And if you can do that 2 or 3 times in the course of a game, you're starting to incur a lot of value. It's extremely useful. So Shadow's Claw is like, it just immediately heightens your kill potential and allows you to use your Ominous Shadows in an offensive manner a lot more efficiently. So if you have a decent budget, maybe you bought the Recollection deck and you're like, okay, I have $100. Like, what should I buy? My first big purchase would be Shadow's Claw. It's going to eat up half your budget, but it's going to really help your deck as a whole. Luckily, the rest of the material cards that I'm going to suggest are most of them are pennies on the dollar. The next expensive one is this one, Sensor, which is $10. I'm not going to mention Backup Charger. I'm not going to mention Grand Crusader's Ring or Quicksilver Grill. Those are great upgrades, but I'm trying to give you like the best for your buck. And later, you can buy those cards if you want to switch into different champions, or if you want to, just have more staple material deck cards. They're very good. They're just expensive. So, Sensor Restful Peace sits at about $10. It's the second most expensive card in the material deck that I'm suggesting. Graveyards and cards lose all abilities. This is very good against floating memory decks. It's very good against Luminal Guide decks. It's very good against any deck just trying to like use their graveyard to incur value. It's ran in pretty much every list right now, either in the main board, some in the side, and it's just a very, very good piece to have. Highly suggest it. If you have a little bit more budget, you can replace this spot with Backup Charger. Backup Charger is very good. Sitting at like $22 right now. And that one's a little bit more of just like a standardized, like good material deck card. So that's kind of where I would go. And then the rest of these cards are pennies on the dollar, like literally less than $1 to get. Safeguard Amulet's very good. Just standard being able to prevent 4 damage. It's ran almost every deck. Terrafring's another one. It's pennies on the dollar. Really good against go wide aggro decks. So on and so forth, being able to do that. And then you also have Blinding Orb, which I personally like a lot. Blinding Orb allows you to, when your opponent's holding a certain amount of cards on your turn, to try to like, present some interaction with you on your attacks. You can use Blinding Orbs to force them to put 2 cards down their memory to be able to get rid of any defenses that they may have. So that's really good. And then the final one is Windwalker Boots. This one actually, if I had to put in a ranking of like the ones I've showed you, this would be the second most important one to get behind Shadow's Claw, because it allows you to make continuous prep counters every turn. When you at the beginning of your end phase, if your champion is awake, put a preparation counter on them. Banish Windwalker Boots, draw a card, activate this ability if your champion has 5 or more prep counters on them. Very, very good card. Very good engine. Usually, most games without context, you'll go into Tristan level 1 during your second turn, and then you'll go into Windwalker Boots on your third turn, depending on how things are going. So that is the material deck cards. Again, if you have more budget, definitely feel free to get Quicksilver Grill. Feel free to get Grand Crusader's Ring, Backup Charger. I purposely did not put those in because I feel like if you're going to go the most for your money, I'd rather you have that one big purchase of Shadow's Claw and then buy all of these other ones that, like these 4 cards, Windwalker Boots, Blinding Orb, Terrafring, and Safeguard. With shipping, if you bought them all from the same person, will cost you like $5. So very, very good for your money. And that's kind of where I am at with the material deck. Now we're getting into the main deck. And again, I'm going to go from most expensive to least. The most expensive card is going to be Sadie. I think Sadie is running. I'll do this on the fly because that's how I normally do stuff, sadly, to make sure I double check the price. But Sadie is sitting at about $45 a card. This is the most expensive card. If you're playing Assassin in general, you're going to want this card. Do you need this card to play Tristan? No, you do not. If you're playing at just the local level, skip this card. I would not buy this card unless you know you're going to go to a regional or you're going to go to an Ascent or you want to start treating the Assassin class in a competitive manner. If you're not doing that, if you're just having fun at locals, you're just playing with buddies, definitely do not have to buy this card. But I had to bring it up because it is the quintessential best assassin card from all the assassin archetypes. Like most every assassin runs this for the most part, except Faiza might not. So definitely take a look at this card once you're ready to make that leap into the regional and ascent level categories. Very good card. It's a prep counter generator. It's a way to get agility 3, to get a lot of resources. The player incapacitates, stuff like that. But a playset is going to cost you about $170. And again, this is just like the essential assassin competitive staple. But if you don't have this in the deck, you can win at locals. I always tell people that. So don't worry about that. The next one are 2 housekeeping ones. So we already have 3 incapacitates in the Recollection Lite deck. Just grab your 4th. You're going to want 4. This card's broken in Assassin. Being able to stop actions for 2 costs is really, really good. to negate them. Definitely pick up that, and also pick up your second and third copies of Mastermind Scheme. You can get all 4 if you want, just to have 4, but most people only run 3 in their list. So if you want to get 2 more of these on top of the one you already have, those are pennies on the dollar. The rest of these are pennies on the dollar. The Sadie card is the most expensive one, and that's if you have a budget or a higher budget, you can buy it. But definitely pick up these 2. You can pick up Windblast Lookouts. They're like 10 cents a piece. Very, very good card that came out in the MRC Altar set. On enter, put a preparation counter on your champion, and then if you're an assassin, if you've already been in level 1, you can glimpse. And it's a 1/3 body at 2 costs. Very, very good card. It's a really good engine piece. Veiling Breeze is another big one. Helps prevent some damage. This card is more useful once you start replacing a lot of the, if I put this down for a second, the one thing you'll notice about the Recollection Lite deck is they have a lot of Umbra cards. In a fully attuned list, the only Umbra cards you're running are Shadow Strike and maybe like Penumbra Waltz or Spirel. So you're only running like 5 Umbra cards. So once you start to knock this number down of Umbra cards in your deck, Veiling Breeze gets a lot better. But Veiling Breeze is very good to prevent damage. And again, it's pennies on the dollar. And then finally, Windmill Engineer. Again, the view mechanic to be able to put a card in memory, keep that card draw going, keep that card advantage going. Very, very good. So it's very similar to the material deck. We have 5-ish cards right here. Yeah, 5 cards that all combined are going to cost you like $10 with shipping to buy. And I'm highballing. Then you have the one really big piece that if you're looking to do a regional or a ascent level event, Sadie is your best option. There's other cards that you can get, like Reclaim and, Ensnaring Fumes and Dream Fairy and stuff like that. Like, obviously we could go like every single card you're going to upgrade, but these are like the ones that I chose that you should focus on first. So if you bought the Recollection deck and you're like, okay, I want to be competitive, I have $200 to spend or $250 to spend, you could pretty much pick up everything on this list. If you're like, okay, I have $100, I would spend the 50 of it on Shadow's Claw, and then you could literally get every other card on this list for under the $100 range, probably for like $75 total, with the exception of Sadie. So that's really good. So that's where I would go personally. I think that it's a good upgrade path to start. The game is getting cheaper by the day. It works very similar to Flesh and Blood, if anyone's coming from that game on my channel, where there's essential staples for each class or each archetype. And then once you buy them, to upkeep your deck is like pennies. And then on the material deck, there's also staples that once you get them, like you have them and they hold value. And for example, like Shadow's Claw has held value its whole time. It's stayed at the $40-$50 range, so you have a lot of good, a lot of good confidence that this card will keep its value. Same thing with Sadie. Sadie actually was more expensive. It was like $55-ish, $60 a card. Now it's like $45. So definitely something to keep in mind is like some of these more expensive cards do hold their value very well. But hopefully this was helpful. If it was, let me know in the comments. If you have a card that you think is a little bit more important, definitely feel free to put it down in the comments down below. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's completely fine. Go to the creator worksheet down below. Follow another creator that covers this game. Leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff. Let's get more people seeing this game. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.